So, Kelly, as a real estate agent, I have had this happen to me in the last month 4 times. 4 different clients told me that they did not qualify for a home loan because of their credit. So I asked them where they got pre-qualified, and they never even talked to a lender.
Yeah. I actually think this is the biggest mistake right now that people are making. And they're making it with the home loan process. But honestly, I mean, might even offer up that we're making it as a society because of the accessibility of technology and AI and all the information. And that mistake for the home loan process is people are trying to self-approve themselves.
Right?
When with all the information they're gathering online, but that information is so general. And trust me when I tell you, there are so many nuances that go into this process that honestly, if somebody wants to buy a house, the best thing they can do is consult with professionals that are experts in the space. It just is. And I think there's a lot of intimidation when it goes through like, oh, the home loan process. And I've said for years, it feels like you're getting naked, like in front of sweepers. I know, but it's so true because it can be intimidating. And I so get that. But to try to leverage AI and all the information on the internet and even social media and YouTube channels and everybody that's pouring content out there, which obviously I'm a content creator and I believe in education is my passion. But at the end of the day, the best thing anybody can do is talk to the expert and really dive into your personal scenario because I guarantee that there's going to be some new information or something that that lender sees or hears that can help just get you on that path to home ownership. It's kind of like, having a trainer at the gym,
Right.
right? When we're in this kind of consistent mode where we're working with somebody that actually knows the weights to lift and the frequency and all the things, you see results.
Right.
And I really do translate that back to whether it's the real estate agent or if you are using a home loan, a mortgage lender that can truly hear your unique situation because everybody has a unique situation.
Right. Well, what's interesting to me too is that they don't even actually really know what credit score they need in order to qualify.
Yeah.
And there's been some recent changes with that they might be operating on old information. But
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
Fannie Mae just say that they weren't using credit scores now?
Fannie Mae remove their minimum 620 credit score. Again, doesn't mean that the credit profile isn't important, but the score itself may not be as important as it was prior to this change. But the thing about credit, Shay, is that a lot of people don't understand. And again, they're self-approving themselves. And I know you talked to me about a couple of your clients who want to buy, but they said that their credit is marginal and they don't think that they can buy. Right there is what I'm talking about. The best thing they can do is talk to somebody.
Right.
And fill out the very quick pre-qualification application. Have that lender pull your credit. And if maybe you're at a point where based on that profile, you can't qualify today, that lender has the knowledge to say, hey, here's what it's going to take to get you in a home in 90 days or 6 months. Here's the few things that you can do to position yourself. But let's look at everything else.
Right.
I had a real estate agent call me a couple days ago, and he said, hey, I've got a buyer that isn't quite ready to get pre-qualified yet. They want to do a lease purchase on a $2 million house, and they want to lease it for 3 months and then execute on the purchase. I was like, okay. I'm sitting there thinking, if I was a listing agent or I was the seller, in order to even consider that, I would want to know that that person could qualify after 3 months for the home loan. So I started to talk a little bit like, tell me more. Tell me why your client doesn't want to kind of go through the process. Well, he already knows that he's got to sell some cars to have the down payment and all the things. I'm like, okay, well, just that's one piece of the puzzle. It's not just about assets, credit, down payment, income. There's so many variables in income. I don't want to say this to like scare people. I really don't. But experts understand this stuff and can hone in on it so fast to try to help with the solution and the strategy so much faster than people can themselves. We're not doctors.
Yeah.
I mean, go down the rabbit hole on WebMD. Do you ever get it right? I mean, maybe in part, but do you have the real solution to get on the track to get better? It's so crazy to me. It's exciting. I mean, what AI is doing to the world is obviously changing the entire world and people that have access to it. But I don't necessarily think it's a great thing if we don't continue to think and consult people that have expertise in the things that we are hoping to accomplish.
Right. I think especially on the credit too. People say, these 4 people that I talk to, they got to fix their credit. They got to fix their credit. Okay, well, what are you fixing? Like,
Right.
sometimes it is not intuitive. The things that we think might be the right thing are not necessarily the right thing. Like, they might be thinking they have to pay the credit card off in full, when in reality, maybe they only need to
That's right.
reduce the balance to,
Yeah.
what is it, 30%?
Yeah, 20 to 30% of the limit. But that's just one angle.
One angle, right.
I mean, sometimes people think, well, I'm going to pay off all my credit cards and I'm going to close all my accounts, and that's really going to position me. Guess what? That's going to drop your credit score.
Right.
I think the other thing is a mortgage rated credit score. When you go through the home loan process, the credit reporting versions that lenders have to use are completely different than what consumers see. So when you get your credit report through your bank or whatever resource, or you go online and you pay for it and pull it yourself to see a score, that's not the same score that a mortgage lender is going to see. Completely different algorithms. They're completely different scoring models. So again, you're not even coming into the conversation with the same knowledge of what it's going to be. So again, if somebody's really serious about buying a house, the best advice is to talk to an expert, have them pull your credit, because they have the tools that they can pull within seconds, minutes, to say, hey, run it through the algorithm. It will come back and tell that mortgage lender for this person to get their score to this, which may help you from an interest rate standpoint, a cost standpoint, the ability to get approved standpoint, a variety of factors there. Let them use the tools that they have at their disposal based on that mortgage rated credit scoring model and not the consumer model.
Or another misconception, maybe they know that they have a lot of medical bills or medical collections, so they've automatically disqualified themselves from getting a home loan, when in fact, medical, that really doesn't come into play, does it, when you're buying a home?
It doesn't. I mean, again, it depends on the loan type, but the point here is don't make the assumption or self-approve, because really there are so many variables to this home loan process that experts know this stuff. We live it, we breathe it, and we know how to access the information that we can help people get on that track to home ownership much faster. There is fear many times.
Yeah.
And there's misinformation out there. And what we see in ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever else is we're using, it's very general. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is down payment.
Right.
People think, oh, I need 20% down. I don't know why that's still out there, but not necessarily.
Or I have to put 20% down because I'm not paying mortgage insurance.
Right.
If it's the difference between you getting a loan and not getting a loan, wouldn't it be worth considering?
Well, it's the difference between you purchasing a home, maybe.
Right.
Right. And again, I think that it's one of these things that better understanding how mortgage insurance works, a lender that really has expertise can kind of walk through how mortgage insurance works when it drops off, the benefits of mortgage insurance. I mean, mortgage insurance was created to increase home ownership without having to put 20% down. That's why it exists. And it gives the lender assurance and insurance if there's default on that loan. Lenders came into the market and said, okay, then we're going to lend for less down. So that's why it's there. It's such a great vehicle to get people into home ownership who don't have 20% to put down.
Or what if they have no money to put down, Kelly?
There are so many down payment assistance programs out there across the country. If somebody has VA benefits, that is a no down payment loan. If they have full entitlement, I mean, there's just a lot of options. Also, people don't realize you can get a gift from a family member or friend. I mean, if that is something that is, available to them, many times they don't realize that that is also a way to be able to achieve the down payment portion of the strategy. Again, so many different questions. That's the fun part of this process, is to be able to have these conversations and really just ask the questions and start to paint the picture and help people see that picture and help get them on that path to home ownership.
Because also, other things that people may never, ever think of, like being able to borrow from your 401k. Or I heard you could potentially even use crypto.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. Again, just like you said, they've just gone to ChatGPT. Maybe it told them part of the story, but not the whole story. And they've disqualified themselves. And I want to get into the psychology of this a little bit, Kelly, because it doesn't cost anything to apply for a home loan, does it?
No.
So if you were to try,
Yes.
and the lender says, no, we're not going to be able to approve you for a home loan, then you're going to be renting for a year. To me, it doesn't make sense to say, I'm not going to try because I know it's a no, so I'm just going to rent for another year. I mean, if you try and it doesn't work out, it's the same result, right? You're going to be renting either way. But if you try and even if the lender says it doesn't work out right now, like you said, you could get on a path so much quicker because they're going to tell you the exact way that you will be able to do it.
We help people all the time that maybe aren't ready in the moment, but when you have that roadmap of how to get ready, it's just the picture is clear. And then you're striving and you're doing all the things that need to be done to the point, whether that's 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months downstream, that you are ready. And so just having that knowledge and that clear roadmap of where you're going with this path to home ownership, I think is just so valuable. Otherwise, in a year from now, you're still, maybe you are, maybe you aren't, maybe you don't know. But if you had that information a year ago on what it was going to take to be able to buy a home and you had clarity around that, then you are in a position to pull the trigger. So.
Right. And I think it helps you with your future decisions as well. We're thinking about in the moment. They're saying, I need to work on my credit. I'm not going to be able to get a home, so I'm not going to try. I'm going to pay down all my credit cards, close them out, do all these things, which we know will hurt the score. But also now future purchasing decisions come into play. And I know you helped me recently. Very good. We got together and we mapped out a plan. And I mentioned to you that, I was going to need to get a different car because my warranty was up. You wrote out a whole plan for me and you were very clear. You're not by the Rivian and I have a thing for cars. And so I wanted the really expensive car, but you had mapped out a plan. These are the things that you need to do in order to achieve home ownership. And you were very clear on the amount that I could go, the max amount I could go on my payment for my car payment.
Yeah.
And I had to stick to that. And it was really hard. It was really hard. It was like very emotional decision, but I did it and I got a house and it was only a few months from the conversation that we had. It took a lot of self-control to follow the plan, but I followed the plan and executed flawlessly. And now I moved in to my new home last month.
That makes me so happy.
And it makes me happy too. And it was so worth it. But if I wouldn't have had your guidance, I think I would be making mistakes that are making me be further away from homeownership. So AI is not considering all the factors that a human person, a lender, can do. And to truly put together a plan specific to you and what you need in order to accomplish your goal. And, again, it was only a few months and a few things that I needed to do in order to get the house. So if you're coming up on your lease and you're a few months out, now would be the time to really talk to a lender so that if there are those things that you need to do, you may still be able to do it before your lease is up.
Absolutely. Yeah. The more time you have, the better. So just planning ahead.
Right. Could be 6 months.
Could be 6 months. Yeah.
Right. Your lease is coming due. Let's get you on a plan and let's get you connected with Kelly so that you can be a homeowner in 2026.
I'm so glad that you asked me the question. Thanks for your time today. And don't make that mistake if you're self-approving yourself for a home loan. Just don't do it. It's okay to get all the research. It's okay to get the intel, but talk to somebody, whoever that somebody is, that is an expert in the mortgage lending space.
Right. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah.